Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to our coffee chat for February 11th. 11 is like our number / my number. I love anything related to 11. So I have a feeling this is going to be a good coffee chat. I do need to make this call only 50 minutes long because long story short, have 2 dog appointments today now that I need to run around with my head cut off. So Hayley, just to let you know, because I just randomly decided that I was going to do this before Hayley talks. I want to talk to you guys about 2 things that have been really helpful for me lately in terms of digging my teeth in. And the reason I decided to share this with you guys last minute is because someone just reached out to me this morning on Instagram wanting to be a coach, but she was really worried about how to stay organized. And I've never been able to relate to that because to me, like, you learn as you go, you fail forward. It's messy, it's chaotic, it's crazy, but that doesn't ever stop me. It's just, it must be my personality type or the way that my brain works. But if you guys don't know Maura Kusaba, she actually spoke on the National Wake Up Call a couple weeks ago. I don't know if she talked about it on the National Wake Up Call because they probably didn't let her, but she came out with a planner that was designed for coaches called Rise Up. So this was gifted to me for Christmas by my coach, Liz. This was actually the first version. It's really big. It's a pretty bulky book, which I just recently moved everything over to digital on my iPad because when I travel, I don't want to have to bring this. But it was gifted to me, and January was a little hectic just getting into the new flow with everything. And so I said for February, I want to quote unquote, I hate this term, get more organized. But I decided to try to figure out how to get more organized to help the team and people who join me, because I hear and know that that is a huge roadblock for a lot of people and they feel stuck. So I was like, let me tackle this project, even though I didn't feel like it was a roadblock of mine. And I started to dive in just yesterday. Sorry if I already said this, I can't remember if I said this already, but she came out with a 2.0 version, and it has like the rings here so that the pages open easier. What is that called? Like binder rings, I guess. And she updated some things, and the 2.0 looks awesome. But because I already had this, I was like, let me try it. And if I like the 2.0, I'll buy it. And what I love about it is she calls, you know how we talk about the 10 in play. When someone's interested, they go on your 10 in play list, and that's where you spend your time building relationships, following up, answering questions. And that ensures that you always have a pipeline of people coming into your business to help you grow your team and all that. She has a spot in here, and she calls it a customer hot list and a business hot list. So I really wanted to share with you guys just kind of some of the things that this offers, because if you feel like that organizational piece is a roadblock for you and you don't know how to organize it and you're using a tracker, I feel like this can really be another layer to help you guys crush your business. She also has a section for business goals. So there's like all these bubbles to fill in for new customers, new team members, team advancements, customer invites. There's a note section. You can track your monthly enrollments, which I talked to you guys, what week was that? Oh no, that was in my workflow session. I showed you guys that I write down all of my challengers and the new people who enroll so that I can check in with them and build the relationship. So there's a spot here for that. She also gives you a monthly calendar, and I liked these prompts here because she prompts you to set monthly goals, and it has focuses for business, finances, family, home, relationships, my body, fun and community, business development I'm committed to, personal development I'm committed to. Guys, for 5 years I ran my business from my planner. I wrote down names, that's how I did it. It worked for me, but I know and believe that I have learned the hard way with some things, that at a certain point, if we want to level up, at a certain point, if we want a little bit more freedom, because we sure as heck aren't going to work this business for 5 to 6 years to feel like a slave to this organizational piece. So I'm learning how to just automate some things that makes life a little bit easier, which is the second thing I'm going to talk about with my email management. I just discovered this beautiful, easy platform that anyone can use. I'll share my screen and show it to you guys. But let me finish this. So there's kind of a monthly calendar here for you to kind of plan things out. And I'll do a whole other team call on this if you guys want me to do another workflow session. But this is really where all the magic happens. So she has this entire tracker piece. So she calls them wins of the week. And a couple years ago, we came out with we actually used her trackers in our team training. We had trackers for walkers, joggers, and runners in this business. And some of you actually, I think, still use those trackers. And she called like the daily activities wins of the week. So for me, I have like emails. It's very important for me that I sit down and I connect and write emails and provide content. At this point in my business, that's something I do. So that's on here. Yesterday, when I started this, there's connections, there's follows. And so I did some amazing connections yesterday because I sat down and it was on my list and I knew that I had to check it off. I don't know, it just gave me, granted, I understand that it's on the Success Club tracker, but that tracker isn't big enough for me. That's like minimal work in this business, minimum. And I'm all about 10xing my efforts at this point. So I just needed more, I needed like a bigger and better tracker. And this has been awesome. So she has you set 3 yearly goals. She has you set your top 3 monthly goals. And what's cool about when you do this, it helps you break down sorry, if you can't really see it, but this is like the week here, and there's the time slot, which is very important to me because I work in block schedules. And so for Mondays and Tuesdays, that's the day that Nixon's at school. It's my go time. So I'm planning out what I'm doing. And then there's also at the bottom here, a marketing plan. And so I know my 7 categories that I'm always posting about. And when I have these categories, it completely, which by the way, I've shared in the business bootcamp. If you're like, what categories is Colleen talking about? Go to the photo section of the business bootcamp. And I shared with you guys some ideas. You don't have to stick to those 7, but ideas of how to come up with like more planned marketing content. Because I know not everyone, but some people struggle with what to post. And if that is a roadblock, guys, use the tools, be resourceful, right? So I know exactly what I'm going to be writing about today. So there's a marketing plan here. So I just like it. It's like a bigger tracker for me, although I hate having this large book. She also talks about the top 3 weekly goals and 3 most important meetings and events. And if you followed me for a long time on my coaching journey, you'll know that I've talked about you can only have 3 priorities in your life. This breaks it down, not only to my life, but to my business. It's not, I don't want you guys to burn out, right? I want you to make sure that you're planning in fun time. I want to make sure that you're planning in community time. I forced myself twice this week to get out of the house, go get involved with friends, meet new friends, community. And I just feel like it has been, for me, that's what fills my cup, is that human connection. And because I planned it, it really just lit me up in a big way. So I want to encourage you guys that if you feel like a fish flailing out of water, take a look at it. It might be something that might help you. If you have any questions about it, you can message me. And then really quick, because I don't want to take up too much time, I'm gonna screen share for like 3 minutes and show you guys something that I have discovered for email marketing. So I'm teaching you guys, but this was 2 years ago that I taught you guys about Streak. So if you're just getting into Streak now and you're saying, oh, but Colleen, I just learned Streak, it's okay. In your due time, you will go to the next thing. I just feel like I have to share it with you as a leader so that you can never say you never told me about this. So the thing I like about Flowdesk is it's pretty, it's all the templates are there, it's easy, there you can set up beautiful sign up forms for people. So rather than asking them for their email, you can give them a link and like, hey, put your email in here and I'll send you information about coaching, and it automates it. So as soon as someone puts in their email about coaching, I don't have to do anything. I have designed an email that automatically just gets sent to them about coaching, and you can just automate all that kind of stuff that stresses people out. The follow-ups, the connections, those kind of things. It's helped me. The other thing is a lot of email providers are expensive. They can be anywhere from $30 to $100 a month. I don't expect anyone to pay that. I wouldn't even pay that. And typically the larger that your list gets, the more that you have to pay. And I know that in 2020, just like Alyssa Shoemaker, I think is how you say her last name, talked about it last night, is the way that we shop in today's world and the way that we build that brand loyalty and the way that we make buying decisions is very different this year. I'm shopping on Instagram right now. I'm finding new things on Instagram. That's like where a lot of our generation is spending time. And I know that a lot of the brands and people that I love and follow, they got me on their email list, and I have purchased things because I was on their email list. So I'm really making my email marketing all about that customer relations. So I'm going to share my screen. Why is it saying that I can't share? Sorry. Share. Why is it not working? Security and okay, maybe I'll have to do that later because we're limited on time. That sucks. Zoom has been messing with me so bad lately. It's $19 a month if you use like the promo code that I have. And so I don't expect everyone to want to pay $19 a month, and maybe you're not at that point. But when I think about the amount of people that I can build relationships with, and I also email my people that have signed up with me. I don't want to have to always only message them. Granted, I do. But the emails just let them know that like, hey, I'm there. It's just another way to stay organized, which is what a lot of you guys are asking for in your business. So sorry I can't share my screen. Zoom hates me. But I'll do a video for you guys in the business bootcamp. Okay, done talking. Sorry. So I asked Hayley, so sorry, Hayley. I asked Hayley to come on here and just kind of like no filter, no BS, just share with us her story, how she got started. And I've known Hayley since the very beginning, and her upline Keith paired us up together because we both had the same drive. He's written about Hayley in his network marketing book that she was a sleeping giant. And I believe in sleeping giants all the time, which is why I breathe so much life into so many of you consistently over years, because some of you are sleeping giants. Some of you have so much potential, and I just want you guys to see that. So I hope that Hayley's story can inspire you. And I've asked her to talk a little bit about like what helped her go from, just like Ashley did last week, what helped her go from like, hey, I'm a coach, to seeing success. And then what was that second big shift? So Hayley, I'm going to stop talking finally, and I'm going to let you start.
So let me think, when do I have to start slowing down here? Like probably 2:40?
Wait, what?
When do I have to start slowing down? You said this is a 15-minute call.
I have to be out of my door by like 11:55. So that's like 2:55 your time. So
let's do this.
All right.
Okay. So first of all, hi. So weird doing a call at 2:00. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I haven't done calls a lot at all lately. I even turned down like Josh Coates. He asked me to speak on his podcast, and I said she wasn't ready. No. And I just feel like it's because I have like an amazing first coaching story, and it was great, and it's still great. I'm going to tell it. But then like last year, like who was I? Where was I? I don't know. So I have a whole new coaching story that it's not fully developed, and I felt like I can't say it until it is. But if I told myself that exact story, I would say, shut up, because your story matters. And if you don't, like, you sharing your story helps other people feel less alone, you know, so it's not all about you. And so here I am. Colleen was like, if you really don't want to do it, you don't have to. But if you're telling me you don't have something to share, I'll challenge you. I was like, shit. Colleen has basically been my coach since day one. Obviously, Keith is, but Colleen is very much one of my great, great mentors. So you guys are very lucky. So, all right, let me see. I wrote down notes. I didn't really practice them because if I do, I get very nervous. So I was thinking about doing like a slideshow. I was going to like pay one of my girls to do it for me. And I was like, that's not authentic. And that's just like what I'm trying to talk about. I don't know how to do that stuff. Okay. So let's see. My first coaching story. I started in March 2014, so almost 6 years ago. So 6 years ago, I was working still 2 full-time jobs, doing hair full-time and bartending full-time. I never once, like, I almost failed high school because of computer class. I hate all that stuff. I never took a selfie a day in my life. I actually deleted people on my Facebook that took selfies. I didn't get them, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And then I'm like so shy. I was too scared always since I was little to share my voice. Like, you know, when you go to field trips when you're little, like sleepovers, like field trips or sleepover, I could never go on them because it's like, I'm too scared, I'm too shy, I don't want you to hear what I have to say. So joining this is like, I had no idea what I was really getting myself into. I just, for some reason, even though I thought everyone was a bullshitter, I just believed what he had to say. Just the way he talks, you're just like, wow, you're like the one person that, like, for some reason, even though I don't know you, I believe everything that you're saying. He has special powers. So I signed up. I ended up finding him through like my sister. I was working, like I said, 19-hour days, and I lied to the world pretending like I liked my life because everybody was proud of me for being a new hairdresser, even though you can't just be a hairdresser when you're brand new. You have to also do something else to make money because you're brand new. It's a new business. So my sister randomly was like, how's the whole hairdressing thing going? I'm like, it's actually, I don't love it. I wish I could just work for Beachbody, because I randomly checked out P90X because I was doing really bad things to myself, like taking just pills that weren't prescribed to me, drinking every single night, and just basically running off of like fake energy and things to, I don't know, speak. So she got me in touch with him. She met him at a yoga studio. And like I said, I just believed everything he said. So he believed in me before I believed in myself. I didn't even know how to believe in myself, you know. People always called me like dumb for not going to college. And by people, I basically mean like my ex-boyfriend. I was with him for like 10 years. So if he, you know, the person you're with the most says like, you're stupid for not going to college, you believe it, you know. So I got diamond pretty quickly, and I did it because, you know, Keith believed in me. So I got it, I think my first, like, not even 2 months. And I stayed diamond pretty much, maybe dropped it once or twice for 3 years. And I don't know why, I just didn't see beyond diamond. I just was like, I'm cool. Like, I'm diamond. That's good enough. Like, I'm so cool. Not a lot of people do this. So I just stayed in that cool spot for a while. And it like really fades out pretty quickly because diamond is basically, for the most part, just you. It's not so fun. You know, to be successful, you need a team. And I didn't have that. So I was just like a diamond and just like didn't know how to think beyond that. But until one day I got like super desperate. And Keith always said you need to be super desperate or super inspired to succeed in this business. And forever, I was never desperate because I always kept the bartending job. I was able to quit the hairdressing job pretty quickly, like 8 months in, just because I wasn't making much. It was like $300 a week, maybe. And I was making that with Beachbody because I was showing up every day. I never missed a day. Okay. I didn't really know how to post that well, but I never missed a day, and I still never have. So I do think that's one of my superpowers as well. But so what was I saying? Hold on. Okay, so I was still working 19 hours. I ended up moving from Boston to North Carolina just because I was a coach and I could, and I was hoping that I didn't have to go back to bartending or anything like that. Patrick was supposed to have a job here. He ended up not having one in the beginning. So it was just my diamond money. And honestly, like, you really don't make much as a diamond if you don't have a killer team. And I definitely did not have a killer team. So I remember just this one day, we're in this grocery line trying to buy groceries. And Patrick is like, I always say, can you just take care of the money situation? Like, pay the bills, I'll do the dishes and laundry. Cool. Like, I don't want to deal with that. And I saw him messing around with the cards, and I never really see him worried. And I saw him worried. And I had like legit panic attack in the grocery line that I almost fell over. I needed to hold on to him so I didn't fall over. And that day I was like a hot mess. And I'm like, listen, I got to change. I got to do something with this business. Keith's a millionaire. You know, he did it in 3.5 years. It's been 3.5 years. What am I doing? You know what I mean? So I decided to actually do something with the business. It only took me 3 years, 3.5. So that's when I made up the Gangster App Connections. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Please look it up in the Beachbody Champions page if you want. I still recommend it to my new coaches and stuff because I attract a lot of awkward introverts that get really weird about messages and stuff. So I made this Gangster App Connections system. It's basically just like talking to 26 new people in a fun way every other day. And I say every other day just because the other day I was taking time to actually connect with these people, have real conversations. And I also was working 2 full-time jobs. I also was working. Actually, I wasn't working, but I really wanted to have like real, this is when had to change my whole situation. But I really wanted to have real conversations, and it takes a lot for me to talk to people. I'm a super introvert. So like I said, every other day it was 26 people. And I say 26 because it's 26 lines in a notebook. You'll see that video. It was fun. It's just a fun way to not make it so awkward. But nowadays, I would say do that at least mine is, I change it. I do at least 20 every day, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday sometimes. So that's not a big number. It's totally doable, you know? So that was then my year 4 and 5, I was a baller in my head, you know? I went from making no money at all, like literally couldn't even go to eat, to making 6 figures, because I did the Gangstrap Connections for a whole entire year and never missed a day posting. You know, I showed up in my story. I started just to be myself and find myself and have so much fun. I had so much fun. So, you know, I even did like a national wake up call. It was crazy. And so like I enjoyed what I worked so hard for. So I don't have regrets. You know, I really don't. You know, I did it a little crazy, like first class tickets, like, you know, I was just going wild. I never thought I could have that. I never thought I could have that. So I had fun. I enjoyed it. But as you can tell, I clearly got comfortable. I stopped being a leader. I stopped being the model. You know, like I'm signing up new coaches and they're seeing what I'm doing now. It was definitely not what I was doing to get there. So that was a huge problem. Huge. And to me, I was doing fine because no offense to Keith, but he doesn't show up. Lots of the leaders, they don't really show up too much. So I'm like, I'm showing up every day, but like not the way I used to. So that really messed my whole business up. And I really lost my why because I completed all of them. You know, I quit that job. I quit this job. I moved. I got dogs. Now what? I was just having fun. And then at the fun ended, and it ended hard. And I was like, what did I just do? You know, like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like, can I even do this business? Like, was I just lucky? You know, I was just thinking all those things. I got super drained. I felt like I was like rushing things, like forcing everything. And for the first time, this whole business, I thought about quitting. And I was like, I hated social media before this. I hated it. Like, I can just leave and disappear like I was before. No big deal. And I don't care about money. Like, I just care about making sure my family's okay. And I can visit my family when I want. Like, money's cool. I like not worrying about it, but I didn't really care too much about it. So I was like, I could just like work and like cut boards for Patrick while I mix tables, like, and not go on social media anymore. It doesn't matter. And once I thought that, I thought about all the people on my team. I can't. But it's not, I wouldn't just be quitting for me, you know, I'd be quitting for my whole entire team. There's so many people that I don't even really, like, so many people that you don't even know that you can like change so many people's lives if you just keep going. And like, I just said in my head, like, I always said, only way to fail with this business is if you quit. And I am not a quitter. So one day I had like a legit breakdown. If I told you like what I did to myself, I was like mental in my backyard. It was nice, sunny. I was a mental case in my backyard all by myself. And I was like, this is legit the meaning of mental. So you need a change. And after I was like crying, going crazy all by myself. And I just heard a voice. He said, you have to get spiritual. And I always freaking knew that since day one. I just never wanted to for some reason. I don't know why. I knew that since day one because that's who Keith is. And Keith, if you just talk to him, you're like, just like melt in a chair. Because he's like, just makes you so calm. And so like, I just knew that that's not the person I was being. And not just like me in my head hating being around myself. First of all, I work from home now. I'm all by myself. I didn't like being with that person. That sucked so bad. So bad. And second of all, like poor Patrick, you know, would come home and he'd be like, and here, just like, giving off so many negative vibes. I'll leave somebody feeling worse. That was like the worst thing I wanted to, like the last thing I wanted to ever do is have somebody talk to me and then leave feeling worse. I never want to be that person. And I felt that. My mom was visiting at one point and I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like this is tough. I don't even want to sit. This is terrible. So that day, it was like a little over 6 months ago. I literally went all in on my whole spiritual journey. And like I said, I never went to church. People were talking about moons and crystals and stuff. And I was like, you do you, girl. You're like, that's just not me. But I just had to go all in on something because I hated being around myself. And I like I said, I didn't even want to be at all near my business. Never wanted to look at my online office. I could care less about Thursdays. And that was a problem because I love this business. It's like the best thing that's happened to me. So anyway, I went all in. And by the way, I went all in for another reason, like, because stress will and can kill you. My sister, I don't want to talk about it that much because she would never want me to, but like so stressed not too long ago that she got half of her body like didn't work for like a month. It's like, I think it's called Bell's palsy. She got that from stress. When I was doing hair, some lady would come in, kind of a lot. I thought she had cancer. She lost all of her hair, and it was because of stress. And I was like, if I keep doing this, if I keep trying to force things, rush things, put so much pressure on myself, I'm scared I'll die. Like, really, that's a big reason why I got into this spiritual thing. Plus, no, I'm not going to get into it actually. So 6 months ago, I made my mindset, I put my mindset above all. I could even literally care less about eating health. Like I could just, all I care about is my mindset. I don't care about what I eat. I don't care if I do a workout. All I care about is if I work on my mindset. So I just took lots of hours getting that right. And now like my whole business is starting to really flip. So that's why I didn't want to do any calls because it's happening in like seconds. I'm having so much fun again. I'm not rushing. I'm not forcing. I trust. Now I'm just being and attracting. That's what I'm doing now. So this doesn't mean that I'm not doing stuff behind the scenes. Obviously I am. But I won't lie. My year 4 and 5, when I was slaying it 6 figures, I took it really easy. I kind of stopped doing all those things. Like I said, I stopped being the model. I stopped being the leader. Now I am, after I read that F Leadership book by Josh Coates. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it slapped me in the face exactly the way I needed to. So now I'm like doing the messages, doing all the things, doing the coach techniques, all the things. But I just kind of wanted to go over what my main priorities are. I keep it pretty simple. Like I said, I make my mindset my number one priority. So my morning routine is literally above all. In that morning routine, I always try to read something spiritual. I at least like a couple minutes of something business. And now I've recently added Super Life so I can learn more about like Shakeology type stuff. So most of all, my spiritual book, have to. If you don't believe in something bigger than yourself, good luck to you. Goddamn. It'll come like crashing down. You need to. It's so much pressure on yourself if you don't, and that's like the worst feeling. So in my morning routine, it literally helps me surrender. And I cannot believe I'm saying these words out loud. It's so not like me, I'm telling you. But I love it. I put less pressure on myself. And during my like meditation, I ask for help with certain things, including with my team and my business and my life. I trust and believe that it will happen. I do, my whole heart. And I visualize the things that I'm asking for help with. I visualize it. And I come up with lots and lots and lots of amazing new ideas in my meditation. I can give you the link. Callie Randall has it, and I think Candace has it. One of my favorite ones that I was getting into was Gabby Bernstein, 15-minute meditation. It was guided. So I did that literally for a couple months every day. And now I don't want to hear talking during my meditation. I like silence, but if you're trying to get into it, definitely that meditation. If you don't have it, I'll give it to you. But I come up with so many new ideas for my life and my business during it. Guys, the world is crazy. You need that quiet time. You need to schedule it in, like I said, like even more important than your workout. And you know what sucks? Keith told me this in the beginning. Keith always said it's 10% work, and sometimes he even lowered it, and 90% mindset. And I would always be like, yeah, totally. I just didn't do it. Takes me a lot longer to learn than others. Okay. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because there's no going back for me. So, that quiet time is so important to me because, like I said, the world is crazy. And I have this quote that I heard from this guy, Les Brown, his story is amazing. If you don't have a program for your mind, then your mind is going to be programmed for you. So make sure you're taking time to program that. So my number one priorities with the business is talking one-on-one with my Instagram story. That's my number one priority. If you guys notice, I literally will sit down at one point in the day and have a conversation with my Instagram story. The most effective one-on-one conversation I have with my Instagram story, the one I try to do the most, is what Carl taught me that I taught him. Problem, solution, invitation process. He has an Instagram TV on it. Go check out his Instagram TVs. And you just come up with a problem, depending on, I don't know, health and fitness, your Shakeology situation, or the coaching business. Write down a list of your problems before all that stuff. And then every day you will have a problem to talk about, the solution that you found, and then of course invite them, because who's going to talk about something that you can't invite? So just for instance, like say when I was bartending, I had to wear jeans all the time, and I always had to get new jeans because I would always rip them. So every time I went for jeans, I would literally have to go up in size every time. And I would always be like, maybe it is a dryer. Maybe, so that is a problem. And you can make it funny if you want, but obviously the more heartfelt and vulnerable you are, the more you're going to be attracting people. But of course you can throw in a joke here and there. So the solution was these at-home workouts, of course, get more into detail with it. And then of course you can invite. So talking one-on-one on my Instagram story, because you want people to fall in love with you. That's the only way you're going to be successful, honestly. It's like so many different little points to it. But my number one thing is like, you have to be yourself, because they could just go to beachbodyondemand.com. Okay. You have to share your weirdness. And it's like that is actually your gifts. Talking one-on-one on my Instagram story as me with the problem, imitation, solution. Never miss a day posting. That's just me, in my opinion. Maybe one day when I get into like the Millionaires Club, I will slow it down a little bit, but probably not, because I would never personally want to go to a coach that doesn't show up daily. I would rather go to the one that does. And even more important, when I do post, I try really hard, depending on like whatever, I try really hard to post with a purpose, because if you're not posting with a purpose, there's literally no point. There is a point, because like I always say, done is better than perfect. Something is better than nothing. But like if you're trying to get people in your challenge group or trying to get people involved in the business, if you're just talking about your dog, nobody knows about that business or that challenge group. So when I'm trying to fill up the things, I am making it very strong posts about what I'm trying to get their attention about. In between challenges and stuff like that, I'm going to throw out a couple of random posts. But when I'm really trying to fill things up, you have to get deep into your story. I do care about the picture quality, and I don't have to talk about that because you have Candace Rogers on your team. It matters, guys. It's not just network marketing, it's attraction marketing. People are just scrolling through the stupid explore page, and like they have to stop and see your page if they want. Your pictures matter, so I take time on that. 20 new conversations daily, no matter what. And like I was kind of talking about, I up those numbers when I have a challenge group starting or when I have a coach sneak peek starting. But always at least 20 new conversations Monday through Friday. That's just me. And then of course, guys, I always am still focusing on a physical transformation, because the better you become as a whole, the better your whole business will become, the more people will trust you. So like, I'm always trying to get a physical transformation. But really important, I just do things that light me up now. This is the new thing. This is the new me. So like, say if you like, you know what, I've always liked making jewelry, but I just like don't have time. Make 15 minutes out of your day, like creating pretty jewelry, because like you're putting that like out in the universe. You're going to be attracting people that make jewelry. And people are going to see like, you're not just a Beachbody coach and you do things that make you happy, and you'll spark that in other people to do things that will light them up. So like I made a post about this the other day. We can be like literally whoever we want to be. If you want to be an expert on, you know, stuff that we should be putting in our body, like I wanted to teach people more about health, so I'm going to learn more about it. Super life, cool, let me do that for you, basically. I wanted to learn more about the spiritual stuff. Now I get to attract people on that level. So anyway, the last thing I want to do is just read something from my favorite book, The Light is a New Black. I love this so much. 226. All right. It says, you are your message. Your message is your life, your struggles and your triumphs, your highs and your lows, your start and your middle. There is no end. It's the things you are most proud of and ones you'd rather forget. And the more specific your story, the more universal your message. Regardless of how you choose to spread your light, it will touch more people when you allow yourself to be transparent about your journey and the hardest lessons learned along the way. The good and the bad, the best teachers are eternal students. Their message grows as they do. Like, I'm growing so much. My message is growing so much. Your message is the moral of your story, and there are people waiting to hear it. This is my favorite part about this. A story left unsaid is the saddest story of them all. Share yours now. Cool. That's it.
I can't believe that you didn't want to talk, and I get why you didn't, but your story, even though I know it and I hear it and I read it and I, stalk you like a weirdo, it's just so powerful to hear you talk about it, because I feel like if there's anything that she's good at a million things, but when I go to her page, every post that she makes and when she has those conversations with her stories, it's like a diary entry. And it's not in a little hidden book that has a lock on it, Her social media is her diary, and she's like, hey, this isn't just about me. And Jamie Fitzpatrick made a post, I don't know, like last summer or something, that was like, oh, I was talking to someone who, wants to do this coaching thing, but they're scared, and they list off all their fears and all the, oh my God, I don't know, and that's their roadblocks. And he's like, can I be honest with you? This isn't about you. This is about everyone else. And for the coaches that understand that showing up and sharing your story like a diary entry is really for the other person. Granted, we're doing the work on ourselves, but our story and our struggle is for other people. And I think Hayley's so good at that, because she gets down on the level of everyone else that's like, hey, I feel you. I'm the same as you, but here's what I'm doing about it. And I asked Hayley to come on here because, I've watched her spiritual journey. When I moved to Tahoe 10 years ago, I got pretty woo, and, nature changed me, and now she gets why. Like, all of that just is so impactful because it is bigger than you. And it's, divine timing. It has to be on your own time. But I shared with you guys on the call with Stephanie Davies, I got so lost, like after becoming a mom, so lost. Who was I? What was I doing? Scrambling, forcing, all the things that Hayley talked about. And so yesterday when she was like, I don't really know, like, if I'm ready to like talk yet on a call, I was like, if you're willing to come on here and like share with them how you fell flat on your face, because people need to see that, so that when it happens to you guys, you can remember my story or Hayley's story or whoever's stories inspired you. But I really try to bring on all these guest speakers so that you know that we all struggle too. And what I've been learning lately is that, you know, Hayley says that she's weird and awkward and shy and introverted, but at the same time, when you guys look at Hayley, you see confidence, right? You guys don't see weird, awkward, shy, and all that. We're all like, she's a badass. She's confident. And so confidence isn't about how you feel. It's not, I'm shy, I'm introverted. Confidence is about what you do. Although Hayley didn't like social media and, you know, she didn't like where her life was going 6 months ago, her confidence is now being rebuilt again, probably for the 10th time on her journey, because of what she chose to do. So I know that I'm a pusher sometimes, and I'm real talk, and a lot of you tell me how much you love that real talk. It sometimes burns me out, all the real talk. So I try to be, you know, empathetic and real at the same time, but I just want you guys to know that, you know, whatever that fearful thing is, like, you have to run headfirst into it. I'm sure that it was, she said the word surrender, which is how I did a home birth. But the word surrender for me was like, you get to a point where you're so sick of being so worked up and you feel like life is up to here, and you're just like, you come to a breaking point, her mental moment, as she called it, you know? And I just want you guys to lean into that feeling. And my post yesterday on social media was about that discipline of how I learned at a really young age how to sink my teeth in. Instagram doesn't give me enough room to like talk about all the things. I could tell 19 stories in one post, but you know, sinking my teeth into showing up and being a gymnast. If you have ever done gymnastics, it was so hard at such a young age to have the discipline to show up 3-4 days a week for hours on end, stretch my body, stretch my mind, get nervous, get sweaty. But I've done that from a young age. And so, and then track made me so nervous in high school. I used to, you know, run the hurdles, which I'm not just running fast, I'm jumping over things, and you have to do it on the gun at the start. That gave me the worst anxiety. I hated it, but I knew that it was going to make me stronger. And honestly, guys, I think I'm 34 now. I think about all the things that I've done from a young age. So now when like fear shows up or I feel stressed or overwhelmed about something, I don't even question if I'm going to do it. And I hope that you look at these stories as, oh, well, I should say, I hope you don't look at these stories and say, oh, well, I didn't have those parents. I didn't have that upbringing. You're a freaking adult, and we're giving you these resources to go and change your life literally right now. You get to decide not about how you feel, but what you do, because we're all going to feel, right? If you guys are doing the Mel Robbins confidence course with me right now, she talks about how feelings are normal. You're going to have them. What you do next, that's on you. You guys have heard that, but I just feel like at this point in our journey as a team, all the amazing things and all these stories that you're hearing, like I hope that, you know, it's very humbling for Hayley to tell this story, and even for us to hear this story from her, because it's never easy to say like, guys, I freaking had a mental day in my backyard. Like no one really wants to say that, but that's life, and we expect that. And I was waiting for my husband to leave to say this last part. I hope I don't get emotional. When Sean was going through chemo, he made the choice to not put in a chemo port, which is like they put in here so that they just plug in chemo and you're good. For 12 weeks, my husband, 5 days a week for 6 hours a day, would choose to get poked with his IV to get the poison, as he called it. And I just remember sitting there, and I was trying to hit 5-star elite, and I was like trying to grow my team, trying to keep my life together. I'm living in his parents' house. And it was so surreal sitting there watching this happen. And he would turn white and yellow as we sat there. And I just remember for every moment and hour that he sat there having this poison on, he didn't want to do chemo. I basically forced him. That's a whole other story. He basically was being forced to sit there to have this negative poison injected into him. And you can kind of think of this metaphorically of like, there's negative stuff being injected into us every day that happens. I took on full responsibility from that very moment that I would be responsible for injecting my veins with positivity. So when you feel like you're spiraling, yes, do the PD, do the affirmation cards, whatever your woo, maybe it's your faith, whatever your thing is, go do that. But I want to make sure that you guys are also pairing it up with action as well, because it's very easy to hide behind a book, right? It's so easy because that makes you feel good. But then when you close the book, what happens? Are you living those principles? And I think that's sometimes where we get tied up. And Hayley's so good at that. Hayley is good at she walks the talks the walk, whatever that saying is. She's doing it. She's living it. And so I know that Hayley's not living an inauthentic life. She's out there truly living behind the scenes, the things that she's talking about. So that was like a 10,000 minute rant on how I feel about all this, but I've been doing, the reason I'm sharing it with you is because I've been doing so much full immersion like Hayley, but in a different chapter, in a different way of, recreating that new me, because I've also hit roadblocks. What if I told you guys I've been at 10.2 thousand followers on Instagram for almost 2 years, but I show up every day and I still keep going and I still hit my goals and I still help people? It's a number, whatever, right? What if I told you my income hasn't grown? It actually went backwards a little bit because I don't get a 5-star bonus right now. That's okay. I still show up. You have to make the decision that you're going to show up no matter what, even if you're going backwards. And you will get lost. I wrote like notes in the little thing as Hayley was talking, so I didn't forget. You will get lost. Expect it, accept it. And talking to my mom yesterday about, she finally wants to join Beachbody. What just happened? And she's like, I'm a self-loather, Colleen. I beat myself up every time that I want to do something positive and something negative comes into my life. And I was like, Mom, radically accept the mistake. Radically accept that shit is hitting the fan. When I had my kid, if someone was to tell me or to help me, because we're alone most days, right? I can't really just talk to my husband and be like, I'm feeling down. I mean, I can, but guys just don't get that, right? You're just like on your own. If someone was to tell me to radically accept who I am in that moment and know and believe that I'll figure it out, just to keep doing something, fully immerse myself. Don't be an island. Just like believe that you'll figure out a path. Don't completely crumble. I guess I should say crumble and then like come back a little bit. Sometimes you have to crumble first before you come back and conquer. But the radical acceptance is so key. I get it. You're shy. Your husband doesn't support you. I'm just rambling off all the things I hear. You're not organized. You don't have time. You're tired. Radically accept it and ask yourself, what am I willing to do to move forward? Mm-hmm. I've had a come to Jesus moment with Keith during my breakdown after having Nixon. Nixon was 10 months. I sat outside in that deck and I got on a Zoom, which was the worst mistake ever because I ugly cried. My chin was quivering with Liz and Keith. And he's like, Colleen, you need to focus on becoming the person that you need to become. And that hurt me so bad. And that's why I cried, was because I was like, I thought I did that work. That work never ends, and I think Hayley just had that experience too. You're like, I did all this, I achieved my goals. And then, oh shit, wait, no, I'm not where I thought I was. And that's like, sad. Yeah.
I literally feel like I'm just beginning. I'm like, this is it. I'm like excited all over again.
Yeah. And so if you're in a slump, feeling down, maybe you never got your momentum. God, I mean, how many times can we say that consistency and that belief? And I think that I was more successful as a younger coach because, yes, I had more time to just pour in hours of PD. But right now, this morning, it's only 11:49. I have listened to almost 3 hours of PD on my drive to drop off Nixon, when I came home this morning, before he got up and I was making his little waffle and getting his berries ready, I put on a podcast. Back to that idea of I'm injecting my veins with what I need, and that's my responsibility. Okay, it's 11:50, so I have to stop talking. But someone has one question for you, Hayley. What is your best tip for opening up, starting a conversation? I'm so awkward about it, and I don't know if it's best to have a go-to opener or just comment on their stories or something random.
It just like depends on the conversation. Like it just depends. Like, are you talking about messaging? She's going, I know.
Let's say like I actually kind of have similar question. Like I see someone, they're like posting, they're kind of my vibe. Like, do you have a go-to script to kind of get in their inbox? Are you just liking and commenting first? What do you think?
I'm honestly liking and commenting and working on my own shit because I want them to be attracted to me. Making sure that like they go to my story and they're going to want to keep watching my story. They go to my page, are definitely going to follow. So like, yeah, I'll totally react to their story and their posts and stuff like that. But that's why it's so important to get a transformation inside and out and post every day and be all up in your story as you. So they'll want to be attracted to you.
That's such a good answer. There's even like a point in time, I know multiple times in my business, and Hayley said this, I'll just reframe it in a different way, where like nothing else matters but the work on you. Like, so my theme this year was do less so I can do more, because I got so suffocated by the overwhelming stress that I was just like, all right, I got to let go like half this other stuff. Like, do you guys know how long this pile of clothes has been sitting on my table? Just letting it go. I'm doing less so I can do more, so I can do this kind of shit. It's like Nixon's 18-month-old clothes that have been sitting there since Christmas. I am just focused on my top 3 priorities, and I know that I had to change so that I could start attracting people and signing people back up. I haven't signed a working coach since July, and that's bad for me. You know what I mean? That's on me. And so I'm taking full responsibility for that.
Hey, I just did my first coach info center for the first time in a little while, and I signed up a couple amazing coaches, and I have some good scripts I made up for that. So if you need them, let me know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It was really fun. It was so fun. I actually did it on Facebook for like back in the day. I didn't care. I wanted to weed out the nosy ass people on Instagram that are just trying to click a page and just like creep. But on Facebook, for the most part, it's like you have to sign in. You got to sign in for that. And if you are not willing to put the 2 minutes to sign in and figure out your password, probably not going to be a coach. You know.
Isn't that crazy? Like how much we change and learn over the years. Hayley, like, oh, I did the sneak peeks. It didn't work. And then like it comes back around and you're like, no, the new me is going to try this again. And I'm committed.
Oh, yeah.
Feels good.
I actually had a lot of fun. If you have any questions about it, let me know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I have to go. But you're amazing. And I hope that you keep speaking for people because.
So I'm like, I know, like, oh, I can't wait for it to all like happen, guys. It's just so exciting. But I'm in no rush. The one thing I wanted to say was, you asked me about like the one biggest takeaway from Keith was have a marathon mentality. That was it. That's whenever I was crying, like, oh, I didn't get this goal on time, and like, yeah, I'm still going for it. All he would write back was marathon mentality. Like, just keep going, basically. You know, with this business, the slow and steady wins the race. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Hayley. We all love you.